Brian Johnson today. Brian and I have known each other for, oh gosh, darn, a whole decade, about close to a fourth of my life now that I'm getting close to 40, in the latter half of my 30s. And Brian's been a good buddy. He's a local investor here in St. Louis, been doing some really good things. And I'm really pumped up to have you, man. So why don't you, for those of us that don't know you, why don't you kind of just give us your little bit of a background, a little bit about your business and yourself, and let's get rolling on this, guys.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Jim. This is real excited to do this with you, man. You were probably one of my first coaches when I got going early on, so this is pretty cool. Yeah, so I'm a local guy here in St. Louis, doing a little bit of everything. We're mainly wholesale and flip. We're also actively buying up some rental properties. So a little bit of everything going on. I've been in full-time real estate investor for the past 4 years. I was working with some other guys for a couple years out of that. Last March 2020, I partnered up my partner who couldn't make it here today, Jake. We teamed up together and joined forces, and been rock and rolling ever since.
Like, how would you compare the W-2 mindset to like the entrepreneurial mindset?
Man, like I've always had like an entrepreneurial streak in me somewhere. I always had business ideas. I was always trying to go after things that never really turned into anything. When I really caught fire with the passion for real estate, I didn't realize how much I just felt like a caged animal at my W-2 job. Like I would always try to present ideas to my boss to improve production and stuff like that. And it was just always, it's not your pay grade, just do what you're told, I just couldn't stand that type of thinking anymore. I wanted to be creative, try to come up with an idea, try to implement it, see if it works. I love doing that kind of thing. So, I'm so far removed from a W-2 mindset now. I don't think I could ever go back to working for somebody again. Just because I need that freedom. I need to be flexible to try different things and just make my own future, decide how much I want to work and not work and whatever it might be.
So if I hear you correctly, like if I could sum this up in like a phrase, so the W-2 mindset is really what can I get for my time, and an entrepreneurial mindset is what can I create and give, and then make money based on the value I provide.
Right. I mean, the thing that drove me nuts about my old job was, I was loyal to a fault. Like I put in years with this company. It was actually the same company my dad worked for years. So like they were putting food on my table since I was in diapers. I felt indebted. I felt loyal, and all that hard work was just like never reciprocated. So it just came to a point where like, man, am I going to keep killing myself to make somebody else rich? Like, am I going to keep, grinding it out and just hating myself every day to make somebody else rich? Or can I go out and pave my own path, create my own future? And, man, once you get that idea in your head, it's really hard to ever look back.
You're not trading once you become an entrepreneur, you're not trading your time for money. You're trading your skills and your ability to solve problems for money.
No, like if for some reason the president says we can't do real estate investing anymore overnight, I'm probably going to go find a different business to try to start and try to go that route. I don't think I could ever go crawling back to a paycheck. So
I couldn't. I know that. I've never had a normal job. I know there's no way I could ever have a normal job.
Caleb, you're officially unhireable, buddy.
I mean, legit. If I ever try to apply for a job, I'm unhireable as heck.
I saw that printed on a T-shirt somewhere. I need to get that.
Unhireable. Yeah, no, that's a shame, because there is a concept called intrapreneurship, where there's companies that are entrepreneurial that will allow you to come in and implement a build and things like that. But you were at a company that was probably a smaller business that they wanted it done a certain way, and that was that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like I said, like I wasn't in corporate America. I didn't go very far in college. I was a terrible student. So like, I did the best with what I had, and just took me to a point where I couldn't go any further. So.
Gotcha. So, okay. So take me to the last year. Let's talk about the last year in your business.
Yeah.
Now,
It's been crazy.
Finally got to where you're doing things on your own now, right? So like it's a long journey, but what's been happening this year?
Yeah, so we started out March 1st last year. We went out on our own, and then like a week later, the city's getting shut down. So we were like, "Oh crap, this was bad timing. What are we gonna do here?" But I mean, we started marketing right away. Started getting leads. Started getting contracts pretty soon. So we were closing deals within the first 6 weeks, I think. It took a while. It took a few months to get, consistent deal flow coming through. And then, the past few, pretty much all of last year, we were just straight wholesaling. We did buy 6 rentals last year. We just finally got them all rehabbed and stabilized and all cash flowing now. So this year we kind of shifted more to throwing in some more fix and flips and wholesale stuff. Just really focusing more on taking down any deal that we can, so we can maximize the returns more. So far, man, we did 19 deals last year plus 6 rentals. We've closed on 18 funded so far this year, and so just a little bit over a year in business. Total revenues just shy of 600,000. So, for a small team like us, it's just me and Jake. We got 1 full-time employee now. I think we're doing all right. So.
Yeah, I would say 600K in revenue is not too bad for 2 people.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot goes into that too, man. A lot of people underestimate how much it costs to run a business, and keep pumping that marketing out and everything.
Gotcha. Okay, sorry, I thought you meant after.
No, that'd be cool. I'd be really killing it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, so you said something and you just breezed over it, and I'm not gonna let you off the hook this easy. Okay, okay, Brian. We started a business on March 1st. COVID hit, a pandemic hit the world.
Yeah.
Like a week later. And I think you said, "Oh crap, what are we going to do?" So take me back into that moment and how just 6 weeks later you got to your first closing, your first escrow. Right.
Well, man, I mean, early on there, we didn't know, are people going to let us through their houses? Our title company's going to be open. Like, it just seemed like the world was going to shut down there for the first few weeks. And, we quickly realized we live our lives and move on. Not much changed really for us. Like, I'm so grateful. Like, I was not very affected during this entire past year. We were able to carry on with our business, but early on there, it was just that initial freak out of, man, did we make the right decision here?
That's something that like I really wanted to bring this up. Like, people ask me all the time, like, well, is now really the right time to invest?
Yeah.
Is the market too high? Is it sideways? Is it too low?
Yeah.
And the reality is I mean, we've been doing this over 13 years now. And yes, the time is always the right time to invest.
Yeah.
What happens though is that the hustle gets a little bit different. So right now, what is the easiest thing in the world to do? It's when you put a property up on the market and sell the darn thing.
Yeah. Right? It's so easy.
It's very easy, right? It doesn't mean that a professional is not needed. Like, to have a professional realtor, there's realtors on our team that have gotten an extra 30K over the next offer in a multiple offer situation, right? So, but it is not as much hustle. So back in the day when I got started in investing,
when I was still in diapers,
the market was tanking. We were 2007. The market's absolutely tanking because real estate started the recession. So it was kind of like a double whammy there. And I could buy $100 a month, perfect cash flowing houses on the MLS all day long, as many as I possibly wanted to.
Yeah.
Finding the deals wasn't that big of a deal. It wasn't that big of a hustle. But I tell you what, I promise you, it was hustle to sell the darn thing. You had to have if you're going to flip, you had to have the nicest house, about 10K, 15K less than the next closest comps were trying to sell their house for. And boom, you could sell and you can move and you can turn and make a profit. The profit's there, the deals are always there. It just, you do have to sometimes shift based on what the market is where your hustle's at.
Yep.
So right now I hear everybody say, oh, well, finding the deals is so darn hard. Well, yeah, you have to hustle a little bit. And there's always a promise you, there's always a hustle. And that right now is the hustle to spend a lot of your time on.
I mean, everybody says it's so hard to find the deal, but they're not trying to become the source of the deal. I just made that realization a while back. Like, you've got to go to direct to seller if you want the best deals. You know, they're going to get picked off the MLS and from wholesalers so fast. There's hedge funds in town gobbling up stuff that you can't compete with. So, you know, if you can be the source of the deal, you're always going to have some type of role in this real estate space. Like, you're always going to have food on your table.
So it's so hard to buy off the MLS. It's almost impossible to make money off the MLS.
No,
I
mean, I gave up even looking at it a while ago.
And it's not always hard. Right now.
That's true. So on June 2nd, 2021, but when you guys are listening to this in a year, and you're like, oh, Caleb's an idiot. It's so easy to buy off the MLS.
Yeah.
Don't give me a review.
I mean, it'd probably be more than a year from now, right?
Yeah, I'm just being funny.
But things go in cycles. We've had some of the best deals we've ever bought, off the MLS. Where we're talking now, here's the deal though. You get the right motivated seller at the right time. Just because a property's listed for $500,000 doesn't mean they're not motivated and they won't sell it to you for $250,000. We've done that before, but we got, we just got in the right place at the right time.
I saw this shift happen when I first got into working for the turnkey company. Most of the deals we were buying were from the MLS and from wholesalers. I mean, I want to say we were buying at least 6 a month off the MLS. And I watched that slowly start to dry up until I think it was like the summer of 2018. It just dried up overnight. I was making 50 offers a week on MLS and getting nothing for like a month straight. So that's when I started to push on the owner of that company, like, hey man, we've got to go direct to seller. Like, we've got to become the source of the deal.
Okay, so let's talk about kind of like some marketing and so what some of your favorite strategies are to find deals.
So direct mail has been working for us this entire time. Some months it's great. Sometimes you don't see anything, but it's just that steady, consistent source that I think we'll always do at some level. We were texting and we were doing a lot of cold calling early on. We never really had success with cold calling. I think we might have got a deal out of it. But texting SMS was blowing up for us for quite a while. If you guys are keeping up with the news, like there's some laws and some changes coming with all the carriers that's going to be very difficult, if not, become obsolete here pretty soon. So I saw this coming. So we started shifting more to like doing online ads, Facebook and Google. Still not enough data to see if that's going to be our breadwinner or not, but and then for a while there, referral leads were really keeping us afloat. Our Q4, we didn't close a single deal from paid marketing. It was all networking referral leads. So my top 3: mail, online, and networking. You got to be doing a little bit of everything to really scale up and keep things going.
You need 3 lead generation sources. And almost every successful business is going to have 3 main sources if they look.
Yeah.
Okay. And so let's dive into direct mail a little bit. So direct mail is one of my favorites, guys. And what I like about direct mail is how scalable it is, and how consistent you can do, and how it doesn't really take all that much time if you hire the right vendors. So what's your spend and how many mailers do you send out a month?
Man, I want to say I think our mail budget, for the longest time was about $3,000 a month on mail. and for every $3,000 I spent, there'd usually be a couple deals out of that. So once we started to kind of pick things up, we'd throttle it up and down in some months. When we first started, we realized like we had zero pipeline and we had to fill it up fast. So I actually hired out a provider to a mail house to pretty much, it was a turnkey thing for direct mail. I told them where we wanted it to mail to, what our budget was, and they just kind of fulfilled the whole thing. And I did that for about 6-7 months until we got enough data in our own system to start mailing people more. And I've kind of taken that back over now and have managing the mail campaigns. And so it's a lot more work. I was paying a high monthly fee for that service, and I see why now, because it's a lot to keep up with.
So you can get your cost per pie down if you take it in house. So I'm in a lot of mastermind groups where I talk with kind of high level investors across the nation, and pretty much all of them just say across the board, if you're going to use a third party, you're going to pay. You do pay for it. It's going to be quite a bit more expensive to do it. So we're in the process of taking it back in house ourselves. We're using a cool new tool that I'm not going to recommend yet because we need to vet and do it first. But Brian, put a little reminder in your phone to ask me about 45 days how it's going.
Okay.
But we're setting it up, and it allows you to do kind of the equivalent of drip emails.
Yeah.
To these addresses. So anyway, just food for thought there, guys. I'm not going to recommend something that until we test it out and vet it, but I may have a really cool new tool for everybody to showcase here in the next 45, 60 days. So
he's got to get that referral link.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that, but
I'm just kidding.
You're teasing me. I don't like it.
I'm not sure if they even have one, right? But but if it's a good thing that will save time, I'm all about that. I'm all about sharing that with everybody. So,
I mean, using that service was good early on, just because running consistent marketing was the one thing I hadn't really done like that and raise capital on a high level. So just having that kind of plug and play solution early on was good, and I didn't mind paying the bill. But now that I'm seeing I can just turn around that fee and put it right back in the mail, and get a bigger reach. So it's worth the extra work, I guess.
Yeah, and so I talked about why I like direct mail, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that is the con, like $3,000 per month. I mean, you really want to spend probably a bare minimum $1,000 a month. You probably need to spend more than $1,000 a month, but then it's that consistency, right? So it's not just, so here's the deal. Like if you say, okay, I have $3,000 a month to spend, get out of your head that it's a $3,000 spend. You really need to talk about doing it for bare minimum 3 months, probably more like a 6-month commitment. So it's okay, well, I'm going to do a 6-month commitment. I'm going to spend $18,000 on this channel, and just every month I'm going to drip these letters out. I'm going to drip the postcards out, whatever you decide that you're going to do, and just be super consistent with it. Because that's how it works. It may not be the first postcard someone gets. It might be the 5th that you have to send them, right? But that's how you get the results with it. And the good news about real estate investing, what I love about it is, if you don't have $3,000 a month to spend, that's cool. Just let's choose a lead generation channel that's free, but requires a bunch of hustle.
Yeah.
We have Ted. I'm going to have Ted on this podcast here coming up. I don't know if he's on the schedule yet, but Ted's been investing here in St. Louis for over 30 years, and he does a tremendous amount of door knocking.
Still to this day?
Yeah, wow. Door knocking.
Yeah.
And what he'll do is if he has a house he likes, he'll door knock, and then he'll door knock on the neighbor, and then the neighbor and the neighbor to try and track them down. And he spends a tremendous amount of time on these properties. But when he gets one, guess what? It's the exact opposite of direct mail or pay-per-click, right? Like in pay-per-click, it's the same thing. You can spend thousands of bucks a month, but then literally the homeowner in 5 seconds can call 5 different companies to have a cattle call and have everybody out. But if you track down an out-of-state owner through the neighbor of a house you really want to buy, a lot of times it's you and you on that property, so you can buy deals at a little bit deeper of a discount than some of the other traditional ones. So
yeah, I mean, I think that's a big hurdle for a lot of new investors to, commit to doing a mail campaign like that. If you don't have a lot of money for marketing starting out and you spend $1,000 on mail and get no return, you get a couple phone calls, like that can get discouraging, and I see a lot of people just give up. So with whatever kind of marketing you do, I say you got to give it a minimum of 90 days to test it out and see if it's going to be viable or not. But, I would, for anybody new out there, like there's so many ways to start driving leads. Driving for dollars have been some of the best deals for us. Like early on during the pandemic, Jim, like when we were getting things going and didn't have a whole lot to do, we would just go out and drive for at least an hour a day and fill up our database and, text, called, mailed those people over the months. And we're still getting a lot of deals from that.
Caleb, you've traditionally spent a fair amount on marketing too. What's your headspace around that? Because I know a lot of people have a hard time
being consistent. So many, you said 90 days. For me, it's 9 months. I mean, any type of mailing, stuff like that, especially on the agent side, if you don't do it for 9 months, then you're not getting any type of deals out of it. So many people, they spend the money right up front. If you don't have a minimum, in my opinion, a minimum of 6 months to spend on that marketing before you see any return on investment, then you're doing the wrong thing. But I mean, prospecting works too. Going out, banging on the doors, and knocking on the neighbors' doors. It's a great way to pick up deals. If you're going to do marketing, make sure you can do it for 6 months. But you need a combination of both. I think any healthy business is not only prospecting but marketing based as well. And you need to be screaming from the rooftops on your social media because that's free.
Yeah, no doubt. Everybody's got to know what you're doing, man, for sure.
All my friends on Facebook are so tired of me talking about real estate. They're so over it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how you get deals, though.
Yep. Sure. Oh, we do. I think we sell $4 or $5 million a year in real estate just off my Facebook post alone.
Wow.
Yeah, and so this may be a little repetitive, guys, on lead, since we're talking about lead generation, but I mean, the biggest thing is just, are you doing it enough to get good at it and build the habits of it? Like, do you know how, if you've never door knocked, do you know how terrible you're going to knock on that first door? You know how bad whatever comes out of your mouth is going to be and sound like? It's going to suck, and that's okay. And that's perfectly fine. But you know how good it would be if you, on your 1,000th door, on your 10,000th door, how good are you going to get at that conversation when you've had a conversation 10,000 times? People say like, oh, well, I don't know if this door knocking thing works. Or I don't know if this direct mailer thing works. Well, how much did you spend? Oh, I spent $10 on 5 postcards, or I spent $1,000 one time on activity, action, activity. I mean, that's how you get good at something.
Stay consistent and don't give up on it, because it's not going to work the first day you do it. And if it does, you got extremely lucky.
Well, I would say too, just keep sharpening the saw. You've got to keep in practice. I'm not the greatest on the phone. I do much better in person. But if I go through a drought of not making a lot of phone calls, I can tell I'm rusty, man. And it's stumbling over my words again. And so it's just talking to people every day. It keeps you sharp. And, you can't, there's not a magic number of I've knocked on so many doors, I'm an expert now, and I don't have to talk to people anymore. I can hire somebody. I mean, even if you transition out of the acquisition side of your business to just business owner, you're just talking to more high level people to grow your business. So, yeah, I mean, you can't do this business on the sidelines behind a computer. It just doesn't work like that.
Got to be out and be out front. So what's your next moves? What's next?
Man, we are, we just moved into our our new office in the mall here today. We're sharing this space with another investor, so that's why I was having technical difficulties earlier. But man, like I said, our main focus when we started out was 100 rental doors. We've fallen behind this year. It's been really hard to find a good rental property for us because we're really just trying to stick to the BRRRR method. So those deals are just getting scooped up by everybody, you know. So we could have kept a couple of the deals that we wholesaled, but we just kind of have decided every deal we get, we're going to test the market, see what it brings. We might get surprised how much we thought we could make on it. So we're really just kind of trying to capitalize on the hot market, stack up some cash, and go on a buying spree for more rental properties when the time's right. So
Nice.
Sweet. I love it.
Yep.
So how do people get a hold of you if anybody wants to connect?
You can find me on Facebook, Brian Johnson. You could go to Freedom Path Investors on Facebook. We do a podcast as well. We have a YouTube channel with a lot of stuff out there. So check me out on socials.
Right on.